Good morning, afternoon, or evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the third and final race of the evening. Is of course well, the Tier 2 race around Circuit Interlagos, Autódromo José Carlos Pache. And joining me as always, a good buddy, Mr. Sebastian. Seb, how are you doing ahead of this very, very exciting race?
I'm doing quite well. Hopefully my internet's holding up, is it? Don't
Yep.
sound stuttery?
Nah, you're all good. You're all good on this side
All
then.
good. Nice. I'd like to hear. Excited because we've got a somewhat of a showdown now building up, Mick. Somewhat of a showdown indeed. The gap between Ferrari and Aston Martin is 1 point after none of the drivers from Ferrari and Aston Martin scored points last time in Mexico. So 4 rounds left. They're separated by 1 point, and the two drivers spearheading the Mick, Pepsi and Undercat, separated by 52. And Pepsi can wrap up the championship tonight if he was to win and get fastest lap, Mick.
Oh, lots on the line then for the Ferrari driver. Of course, down from Tier 1 into Tier 2 this season. But yeah, just about ready to get things underway. So without further ado, let's go into the game lobby. Brazil, a fan favorite track. So much history here in Brazil for Formula One and also for AFR as well. It's always produced some very, very entertaining races, but at Circuit, Seb, where overtaking on track can be rather challenging.
Rather challenging indeed with those DRS trains. Very hard to find your way past cars unless they make a mistake or you are battling the guy leading that train. And it's also a place where we've seen some great championship showdowns, haven't we, Mick? In real
Yes,
life. It's a
yes,
great
yes,
circuit
we
for that,
have.
and we could have a decider here today if Undercat is not to finish and Pepsi were to get that win fastest lap. He'd win the championship on countback.
I can I just say, Seb, it's absolutely great to have Cat back. I mean, after the wheel issues
It
he
is.
suffered at USA, had to sit out at Mexico, already putting his championship fight on the back foot. It's just great to see that second Aston Martin on the grid today.
It is really good, and we get to see that constructors battle go down to the wire as well. It's cooking up to be a really good one. It has been all season. They've been going at it and trading blows, these two constructors and these two top performing drivers in Tier 2.
19 drivers on this grid. The team without a second car. From the looks of things, very, very quickly. Be able to spot this before me, Seb. Props to you. It looks like I actually have
Oh,
no idea.
I have weather report. We have a small chance, 20% at the start of the race. That's the only sign of weather at the moment. So dry all around this Interlagos circuit and most likely in the race as well.
Quite a lot of cars coming out onto the track, including two Ferraris as well as the Alpine of Nemo. And the Williams of Combat Rat leads them through going through turn 4 into turn 5. Hopefully everything on the stream is working as intended. I've had quite a few issues technically throughout the week, so hopefully this one goes smoothly, knock wood. Now, you talked about the Constructors' Championship a little bit earlier on, Seb. How is that looking at the moment after Mexico last week?
As I said, none of the drivers scored points that did participate in that race. So Aston
Oh,
Martin's
wow.
reserve maker and Ferrari's Pepsi, and I believe it was Bully who was back after missing out on USA. Neither of them scored points. None of the four. So we stayed where we were after USA, which had a Ferrari 1-2 plus fastest lap and Aston Martin P6. And that was the spot where Endo had his wheel clamp break. He's finally got on the wheel now, and he can race. He can put the title challenge back to Pepsi, but he's got a fair bit of work cut out for him to ensure that he can beat Pepsi. He needs 13 points from each race, and one of the races he also needs 14 points from them. As I said before, he might lose his championship on account back as Combat Rat goes for a spin.
Oh, he's not the only one to go for a spin. It looks like Jose has also gone for a spin at turn 3. Combat not getting his qualifying session off to the way he had hoped. But you know, let's give Ando some love, Seb. You know what time it is. He's going through the final corner now to start his banker lap. The circuit. Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache. Pache, not Pache, Pache. With Ando Cat, let's go.
Well, so the lap started at turn 12, which is last traction zone. You're braking hard and really late into turn 1, late apex as well. You want to open up turn 2, which slingshots you to turn 3. Keep it tight to left, then open the DRS and move that car over to the right slightly as you prepare yourself for turn 4. Pepsi in P1, first time of the sessions. Bully follows that in the Ferrari is Anacat's gone wide, and that's his lap over already. So let's try this again.
Try this again, Mr. Spicer. Right where he kicked off as you go run up the hill into turn 6 and 7, this technical middle sector. This is where all the time is, Seb.
This is where all the time is where you see the true differences in time. All this tight, hard corners, because got to get the braking right and the traction just right. You can see Mr. Spicer, a bit of wheel spin out of turn 9 into turn 10. Very tough corner, hardest corner on the track in my opinion to get the power down. Now turn 11, hard corner when you are fighting with overheating front right tyres, especially soft tyres. Biggest traction zone on the track. Turn 12 through 13 doesn't register. 14 as well. 15 all barely registers corners in the dry. He's about to cross the line and he would jump into P4. Davis 1, 2, 3 in the Haas. Fastest so far. 2/10 clear of Psycho.
I do believe it's his AFR debut, Mr. Davis.
It's a great way to start off your debut. Fastest time of the 10 we have so far that have set a time. 19 deep driver field. So I believe the only car we're missing is a Red Bull.
Ah, yes, that's what it is. That's what it is. So, only Defiant Diz, representing the Milton Keynes squad, as Saxo in the AFR, getting a little bit of a tow from his teammate Psycho. Didn't quite see a whole lot of those tow shenanigans in the 2 races beforehand, but unfortunately for Saxo, it will be slowest of the drivers who have set a lap time so far, 109.089. There's still plenty of time to improve on that lap set. Plenty in time indeed.
A lot of time. We saw tier 1 in the 6s, we saw tier 3 in the 6s, so I expect some of these drivers to pop their heads in there as well. As usual, Pepsi on those medium times, and no cat first time of the session for him, 107.2, so it's about 5/10 improvement, 4/10 throughout an 18-minute qualifying session here in Interlagos, so they should be able to get into the 6s, I believe, Mick.
Follow Pepsi, 108.4 on the medium tyres. He's just doing his usual shenanigans. A few laps on the mediums before he really puts the pedal to the metal, Seb, and really blitzes the field on those red striped soft compound tyres. And the delta between the 2 tyre compounds is absolutely enormous. Much like Mexico last time out, something like 9/10 to a second, and that's such a short lap. That is night and day.
Night and day indeed. When you've only got really, I'd say, 11 corners at this track, you got to make each one of them count, just like Austria. Track likened to Brazil with how short it is and how little lap times are, how little corners you are taking. Every corner matters, and big disparities in time are not often seen around Brazil, but when they are, it's a good sign that we won't have that tight of a field, but anything can happen.
If it's anything like Tier 1 just a few moments ago, we are in for quite the show. Defiant, that's the sole Red Bull on this grid, making his way through turn 5. We'll see how he handles turns 6 and 7. If you're just joining us, welcome to Aussie Formula Racing. My name is Mikhail. Joining me is Mr. Seb. We are from the great land down under in Australia, and you're witnessing the 3rd and final event for tonight, and the final event around the Interlagos circuit before we head back home to Albert Park next time out. Defiant 51.4 as he goes through the middle sector split. I mean, this final sector is really about how much downforce you have put on the car, as it's just a waiting game until you cross the timing line. But it's looked like a pretty clean lap for the Red Bull, but not the fastest I've seen.
Not the fastest you've seen indeed. It's into the 7s for him, so good job for the Red Bull. Just in front of Mika by under a 10th, 8/100ths of a second, but a bit of work for the Red Bull, I reckon. He needs to get himself up there because track position is rather key around here with the DRS trains that can form.
Another new face, it's Zay in the Alfa Romeo. of course, after Alfa Romeo securing the race win, before the stewards have a look at a couple of incidents. With only F1 in Tier 3, Zay trying to keep the outfit going strong here in Tier 2, and front row start is not a bad way to do it. And Rat in the other Alfa Romeo, P5 as well. Both Alfa Romeos looking like they're in tip-top form, sir.
Yeah, they are. It's good points for Alfa Romeo. They are all the way down in P7 in this Constructors' Championship here in Tier 2, just 5 ahead of Alpine. So I don't think they'd mind seeing this in the Combined Constructors. A bit of competitiveness here in Tier 2. They're going to get it, and it looks like at early stages, halfway through qualifying, Zay and Rat are providing it. But still a lot of laps to come out of the way, making a lot of time to find.
Well, Rat is going through the duckbill now. Turn 10. And this long left-hander of turn 11. Which used to not be flat, I believe, so back in the olden days.
Yeah, it is. With how fast these cars are getting, it's almost not flat in the race if you take a poor line. You got to be really on it, really precise with your steering inputs into the corner. It's a good time from Rat. I don't think he jumps any positions, but he has closed the gap between him and P4. But keep in mind, Davis yet to do his second run.
Yep, Davis on an outlap at the moment. Mika, unfortunately, invalidating his latest attempt. Our championship leader, who has the potential to clinch things here today in Interlagos like so many have done before him. He's going through the middle sector now on his first proper soft qualifying attempt.
As we said, he needs the race win, fastest lap, and an Andocat DNF, or non-points finish, really. And then he'd win on countback on wins. He'd have 10 to his name, and even if Andocat were to win every race the rest of the season, Australia, China, and Abu Dhabi, Pepsi would still win. As Andocat would be on 9 wins and Pepsi on 10.
Here we go. He's set a purple middle sector. It looks like a cracking lap. And it's a cracking lap set, but not cracking enough. Still about a tenth and a half off of Andocat's time. It's good enough for 4th place.
And early signs is he's not going to beat it. Andocat looking like he's going to get into those 6s though. Right now, 2.8 tenths up on his time.
To the line he goes. It's a 106.987. Ooh. What a lap. That's how you make a comeback, Seb. If there's any way to salvage a championship, that is definitely a great start.
Great start, and Davis as well. He's up nearly a tenth at his time, so we could see him jump into P2 here. Don't forget about Psycho and Zay. They're still in the pits. Davis to the line, Mick.
Oh, here we go. 4th place, 107.422 as Psycho. Actually, no, that's not. That's Kalios' teammate, Haas, doing really well so far. 107.0.
And we haven't been talking about him because he didn't put a time on the board. Only other driver to not do that so far is Nut. But Kalios can be up there. We keep saying it week in and week out. Has the pace, doesn't quite deliver in the race, but he can certainly wow you with his laps from time to time.
He's got speed. It's just when you're doing more than 5, 6, 7 laps, that's where it tends to cause a couple of issues for Kalios.
Yeah, toss in tyre wear, loss of fuel, battling other drivers. Seems that it starts to fade away for the Haas driver.
Now, one driver that has improved massively over the past season and a bit is Mr. Shane Mumford. Of course, having a very strong performance in Mexico last time out. Currently 15th on this timing tower, but I dare say that time is going to get beaten rather quickly. He's on his first set of softs. And he looks like he might even get a cheeky slipstream from Keeper in front of him, Seb.
As Keeper is starting the lap as well, so a team look from the Mercedes.
It's a bit far.
Yeah, just a tad far. I think that's just outside the 6/10 range, but still jumps into P10.
Slots himself right between the 2 Alpines of Mr. Spicer and Nemo. The 107.815.
3 to 8, separated by under 2 tenths. So we got some trains forming up in around here, I think, Mick, that could develop in the race.
Gap to leaders now on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. 1 second covers first to 13th, and 5/10 covers first to 7th. Lots of drivers around 4.5 off of Andocat's time. A lot of them 107.4s, 107.5s, and then you have a little clump of the 107.8s. Let's see where Nut is able to land himself, Seb.
As we've seen, not the fastest driver, but still finds himself 14th in the championship. Gets those lower end points or finds himself in those nice positions just by keeping out of accidents. General theme with the McLarens. Oh, a bit wide. Sorry, a bit wide through turn 11. And misses the apex at turn 12. Get that power down. And keep it tight through 13, 14 and 15.
Well, DRS open as he makes his way towards the timing line. What's the time going to be for the McLaren? It's going to be faster than Saxa, but unfortunately that's about it. 108.8. It's quite a big margin, about 4.5 off of Bully in 17th. His teammate Bandcamp also there, down in 15th, not showing like he's got a lot of speed at Interlagos. So, but you know how he is when it comes to the race form, Seb. He'll somehow find a way to put himself in those very, very nice positions.
Yeah, it's always been a Bandcamp thing. Don't have the best of qualifyings, but he finds that form of the race and that consistency. Just able to put the car where it needs to be in the race by just hitting those apexes, hitting the braking points, and he can do it lap after lap. He's done this for a long time, Mick. Been in this game for at least 10 years, so you'd expect someone with that much experience on their hands to be able to do that.
Yeah, but Clownfish is currently flying that middle sector into the last little bit now. Now Nemo has been feeling really, really quick all week long. Let's see if he's able to convert that pace into a grid position to the line. Unfortunately lost time at that final corner. Stay in 11th, 107.7. A lot of cars coming out on track for what I do believe may be their final runs with only 2.5 minutes left in the session, Seb. This has gone by in the blink of an eye.
It has, and it's crunch time. It is crunch time. A lot of laps can come out of Brazil because of how short the track is. You can get 4 runs in if you want to.
Holy Pepsi, 4.5 off of his championship rival. He's found half a tenth through the center S and the Curve de la Sol. Now up the hill he goes, really using all the apex curb at turn 6.
It's a lot of curb, and I think that compromises line through into turn 7. Just completely misses the apex, which you can't do on a hot lap.
Into what I love to call the duckbill, because when you translate its Portuguese name, it's what it comes down as, and it kind of looks like a duckbill when you look at the track map. Nice. That's turn 10. But Pepsi, his split isn't nice.
Not nice at all, and neither is going off the track and hitting that inside curb of turn 14. A lot of time on the board here, and I don't think he can get a second run either.
He improves by about a tenth. That's good enough to put him into 4th. But that's unfortunately, I dare say, the best that he'll have to hope for. Andocat hasn't validated his first attempt. He'll have time to try and start again. Psycho on a flying lap, going through turn 5 at the moment, but a lot of traffic ahead. You can just see all the cars in that middle sector, and that is the last thing you want on your final attempt in qualifying.
By far the worst spot to find cars. And it's so hard to get out of the way because you go left, right, and it's all so slow and so technical. You got to pick the spot to get out of the way of the car that is on a hot lap, and when you're trying to get in the rhythm, and he isn't in the rhythm, he spun around, Mick.
That is
too eager. Careful.
Qualifying done and dusted. Has to be careful rejoining the track. Looks like the Ferrari of that'd be Bully going nice and slow. Pepsi trying to recharge again to see if he can get a second attempt. He's going to be cutting it pretty close, but 30 seconds on the clock. He should have enough time. Kalios.
Andocat. Oh, sorry, go on.
Kalios currently on that front row. Purple first sector, Seb, as Andocat has started. Actually, no, he's got the Aston Martins mixed up. Andocat, 10th and a little bit. Oh, but he's messed up the final corner.
He's
He's gone
dropped it.
around.
Kalios just needs to keep this clean. I think he'll improve just based on track evolution, Mick.
Pepsi has invalidated as well. He's retired from the pause menu. The Ferrari will not be improving. The checkered flag has indeed now dropped. Anocat will not be improving. It'll be Bandcamp first to cross the line, but all eyes on this Haas. He's marginally up on his time. He's absolutely nailed that last corner. Is it going to be enough, Seb? Bandcamp, 12th place as well. Oh, I hate this waiting game. Is it enough? Is it enough? No, it isn't. Unable to get into the 106s, so Anocat will be on pole position. But qualifying is still far from over. We still have a couple of drivers finishing off their final runs. Bully being one of them. Another one being Mr. Spicer. He comes across the line. He will stay in 10th fastest. It's like Mika and Rat both going into the pit lane. But Bully, well, he's able to improve, but unfortunately is unable to jump Mika, who will stay in 17th fastest.
First to 17th, 1.1 seconds.
Wow.
Very close, and Anocat will be counting himself lucky. Kalios didn't get a good enough exit out of turn 12. It seems like he just had a tad bit of wheel spin, Mick. That might have cost him a run out of what is the truly last corner of this track.
It's an important one to get right both in qualifying and the race, because that's the only corner where you have to brake and apply the throttle. Of course, not at the same time. It's the only proper corner in that final sector, and it's all just a drag strip to try to keep the wheel as straight as possible. But it is Androcat, upon his return, on pole position. The only driver to get into the 106s with a 106.987. 654.321. Kalios, 107.059, just 700th between our two front row starters, with Zay and Apollo Pepsi lining up right behind them. Psycho and Davis will take that third row for AlphaTauri and Haas respectively, with Skins, Rat, Shane Mumford and Mr. Spicer rounding out the top 10. Outside the top 10 we have Defiant in that Red Bull. He'll start 11th alongside Bandcamp in that McLaren, and we'll go through the rest of this order once we load in onto this grid. But man, oh man, another really tight qualifying session. And you said there's
And it looks like,
threat of rain.
yeah, it said 20% chance, which normally means it's just a lot of cloud cover.
Well, you got that right, Seb. I can't see the sun.
Very grey skies. We had that I think all races. Tier 1, Tier 3. We've had overcast conditions at least at some point in the race, but don't forget the equation, Mick. Apollo Pepsi, starting P4 in the Ferrari, can win the championship if he, 1, wins the race, 2, gets fastest lap, and 3, Anocat does not finish in the points. Pepsi would win on countback on wins with 10 wins, and even if Anocat were to win the final 3 rounds after Brazil, he'd only have 9 wins to Pepsi's 10. So that is the equation, and don't forget about the constructors as well. Ferrari lead Aston Martin by 1 point, and they're both led by Apollo Pepsi and Anocat at the front of the field.
So to come down to the second drivers, Mika and Bully. See what happens between those two. Those two have had very turbulent seasons as their respective number twos. But here we go. Just loading in. Lots of soft compound tires as far as the eye can see. And only a couple of medium starters. We have Combat Rat and Keeper opting to start on the medium compound tires. But the rest of the order, for those of you who wanted to know, you can see that on the left-hand side of your screen. Nemo in 13th, Combat Rat in 14th, Keeper in 15th. Both Combat and Keeper on those medium tires with Mika and Bully. There, we're just talking about the constructors, and so we'll come down to the second drivers, 16th and 17th. We'll see if they're able to get some fringe points to help out their constructors run, with the back row being filled by Nut and Saxa. So, Combat Rat, Keeper, medium tires, yay or nay, sir? What's your gut telling you?
Around that position and lower, I'd be opting for medium tires around here. But they got to back themselves to be able to keep in any DRS train that forms ahead of them. So if they don't have the pace, being on the mediums is not worth it, because it's so hard to overtake around here when you are stuck in a DRS train. And What, Mickey here or not?
Apologies for the technical issues on my end. Hopefully that's the last of them, but I dare say it won't.
Was it 2? How many safety cars were in Tier 1? Because there were 3 in Tier 3. And by the looks of it, it looks like we'll get
It was at least
more in
2.
Tier 2. Yeah,
It was
at least 2 in Tier 1.
At least 2 in Tier 1, yes. I mean, Tier 1 had probably the most weather-affected race they've seen all season. I haven't really got a lot of weather-affected sessions, but that one was definitely a coin flip at the end. We're not here to talk about that. I mean, that's old news now, Seth. That's old news now. What we're here to talk about is 36 laps of pure intensity for AFR Tier 2. Please, do us the honours as Saxo takes to his grid spot.
Might let you do it, Mick.
Oh, bit of a change of pace then. Alrighty then. So, they're just taking their grid slots now. 3, 4, 5 red lights here in Interlagos to start lap 21. Shane Mumford's jumped to start. Defiant's jumped to start as well, but it's lights out and it's go, go, go. Looks like Undercut getting off to a very nice start. Shane Mumford making up a couple of positions with that jump start, but has to take the grass. Goes to the off-road, but Undercut is a through, cleanly followed by Kalios. Zay staying in that third position. Pepsi staying planted in fourth. Not a lot of movement in this top half of the grid, but a little bit further down, there's quite a bit of movement. Mika up 4 spots. Bully up 3. Defiant up 2 with Skins and Davis exchanging. Now we have side-by-side action between our championship leader and the Alfa Romeo reserve of Zay. Going up the hill, we have a Williams in the grass as well. That is Skins going further and further down the order. Absolute unbelievable scenes at the moment. 10-second penalty for Skins as well. That's adding salt to the wound, if I do say so myself. But aside from that, looks pretty clean so far. But what a start from the Aston Martin of Mika. He's made it up 5 spots, and we're not even halfway through the first lap yet.
Very good start. Keeper, normally a good starter. He's down one all the way down PCC. And Callius is off! Callius is off in the grass! He's in the wall as well, I think. And he is. I don't know what's happened, but it just looked like he lost it into the turn 12. And oh my, he's down the field. And down he is. He had a decent start. But it's given Undercut some breathing room now, Mick.
1.2 seconds. He's got that DRS gap he needs to fight. Going into the pits to serve that drive-through penalty nice and early. And speaking of the other Aston Martin, Mika, getting very close to the back of Mr. Spicer. Mr. Spicer really struggling with that rear end of that Alpine car with the ERS on. Slipstream. No DRS just yet. To the inside goes the Aston Martin. He has his nose in. Spicer leaps in the room, going like, oh my goodness, he's lost it on the Astro, and he is off into the Astro, but I think he's just kept it out of the wall, Seb, which is fortunate if you're an Alpine fan.
Hope he doesn't have any damage, but those rear tires are going to be so hot, as well as that front right. He's going to be so careful in the next sequence of corners. But just quickly, shout out to Bay Jornek, Frostbite, and Venom for all following. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you for the follows, guys. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. Apologies for any technical issues in this broadcast. Mika's up 8 spots now after that. But he's not the only one to make up a lot of positions, sir. We have Bully and Nut both up 7 as well. Sacks are up 5. Bandcamp up 5 as well.
Bandcamp doing Bandcamp things. Sorry, Mick, crucially, Zay within 1 second of Undercut here. And Pepsi's in that train as well.
DRS has now been enabled. Yellow flags. That's Mr. Spicer again struggling. This time he's lost. Oh! That is a virtual safety car.
Oh, that's
he has crashed on the main straight. That is not something you want to see. He's fortunately very close to the pit entry, so you can just go back in, put on a fresh set of tyres, and just go from there. But a virtual safety car here on lap 2 of 36. And Zay, he really used everything to try and get back within that 1 second. That was absolutely mega.
That might have saved Undercut. Undercut only used 30% of his 70 of 100% available keeper.
Yeah.
Wow. Third driver to get a drive-through penalty so far.
He's not the only one. He's not the only one. Combat's got one as well.
Combat as well. Wow.
3 drive-through penalties as Shane still hasn't served his one for jumping the start. But Psycho is under a lot of pressure at the moment, Seb.
Yes, Davis should get this move done well before the start-finish line, and I think he has me.
What about Rat, though? This Alfa Romeo, DRS, look at the overspeed! Up the inside goes the Alfa Romeo. The 2 Alphas are battling out Oh, here we go. Psycho, hold on. But it gets a little bit of a worse run through the center S and curve to the sole. To the inside goes the Alfa Romeo. You can see still wheel to wheel with the Alpha Tauri. Has to try and get his nose ahead. Psycho trying to keep his nose in. But to no avail, the Alfa Romeo is now through for 5th place. What an excellent move. An excellent racing between the two of them there.
Yeah, very good driving, very respectful. Rat tried the switch back and it kind of worked out, but he didn't get the best run through turn 2 and 3. But DRS pays a tribute, and so does a bit of ERS as well in slipstream. But Anocat and Zay, still 1 second. Pepsi run the mix at the front.
I've seen Zay race for other leagues in the past. He's a very experienced driver, although has had his issues from time to time, but no issues plaguing him thus far. He is setting the timing sheets alight at the moment. Has that DRS?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on.
Sorry, Mick. To be honest with you,
here we go.
He is getting that move, and there's Nemo right there. Mika in the slipstream as well. Bully having a great start, up 8. Now, Mika's dropped 2 positions from where he was. But Bully hasn't shown that glamour in that Ferrari, but he might be showing it tonight.
Yeah, messed up the center S just a little bit. Shane Mumford, 3-second time penalty for the Mercedes. Unfortunate so early on in the race, but Mika just keeping things nice and calm at the moment. Doesn't want to rush things and throw it all the way this early on. A long way to go, Seb.
Long way to go indeed. I just want to say, Andocat's reluctancy to use these ERS at the start of the race, even when he had that good start, has meant that Zay has kept in DRS, and so has Apollo Pepsi. But this still could help him out here. Do you know how fast Pepsi is? As we're getting yellow flags in Sector 1, that's just Kalios.
Yeah,
but as you're saying, we know how fast Pepsi is. He can keep there, and Zay's just kept within DRS this time around. It's just floating around that 0.95 region, Mick.
Yeah, he's doing a great job as the Alfa Romeo. It's the second he loses DRS to that Aston Martin, he is going to become prey for this red Ferrari behind him. The prancing horse wanting to get a little bit further up the field. Androcat actually in the worst position for ERS, just simply because of how powerful that drag reduction system is. But right behind them, or about 2 seconds behind them, it's another duel involving an Alfa Romeo. Another Alfa Romeo on the charge.
You see right there with Davis. Don't forget about Psycho. You can hold on there. We've got another train falling behind them, a 4-car train from Bandcamp to Mika.
Bandcamp really struggling at this early stage in the race. He has some speed, but once he gets to grips with that car and the fuel load starts to burn off, I'm sure that McLaren will come to life. But I think look at this.
Yeah. Kept tight through turn 11 and 12, and that's good enough down this straight. Good enough to take P4.
Psycho a bit too far back to make a move. Now, does Davis have a counter-attack? It's been an okay line through the S, but can't quite get on the power as early as Nemo's made a move on Bandcamp as well. Actually, Ben might actually be on for a counter-attack. Here we go. To the inside. Nemo doesn't defend that as hard as he probably could have. But he's keeping his nose in under braking. Band up the inside. Oh, Nemo's coming back at them. Oh, this could get dicey, Seb. Side by side through to turn 6. Nemo backs out of it, and that's probably a smart decision. Especially on lap 7. Maybe if it was lap 34, that might try a bit more risk. But
I wouldn't even try that lap 34, to be honest with you, Mick. Unless I was ahead around the outside. It's a tough corner to fight, and you can see a lot of incidents there. Shane Mumford all the way back to skins now. Oh. And they made contact, and Shane Mumford has spun.
Shane Mumford has gone around. Speaking of going around, it's Zay trying to go around the outside of Ando. Earlier on the brakes, tries to get the better run through the S. Oh, he's maintained the gap. Is he close enough? He's using everything. Oh, look at the speed! To the inside goes the Alfa Romeo. They're wheel to wheel going through turn 4. They bang. They touch wheels a little bit, but the Alfa Romeo is through Endocat. now has his championship rival right behind him in his wing mirrors, Seb, and that is going to put on so much pressure.
And Pepsi could set up a move into turn 4 here. If he stays tight enough, Anocat is too close to Zay. He could very well get that move done. Anocat needs to think about the future here. He needs to probably just sit behind Zay for a couple laps, save some ERS. But Zay has nearly 90%. And Pepsi at around that 90% mark as well.
All looking very pretty on that charge of the energy store. But Pepsi's pretty close to the back of Ando. Ando's not too far away from Zay either. Could we see maybe a double overtake? Pepsi, he's going for it. Even though Ando has the DRS, Pepsi still a little bit faster in a straight line. Down into turn 1 they go. Now through turns 2 and now 3. Pepsi falling a little bit back behind the Aston Martin. But it looks like Ando is just going to sit pretty and just chill right behind the Alfa Romeo for the time being.
And he needs to, Mick, with his ERS situation compared to the other two in this P1 fight. He needs to gather that ERS and just try and set up another move down the line. And maybe next time he could try and pull away, but DRS is so powerful around here, Mick. I'm not so sure he could.
Meanwhile, in the little trio behind, we have lots of trios on this grid. Well, we have 2 trios and a quartet. Move it back a trio. Davis, very close to the back of a certain AlphaTauri. It looks like Psycho might have had a little bit of an error coming out of the duckbill.
Might well have. It's opened up the door for Davis. They did exchange positions a lap and a half ago. We could see that happen again. Davis with the slipstream. Psycho may have DRS, but he doesn't have the slipstream benefit of Rat up ahead.
Not quite close enough. Meanwhile, our 3 leaders again getting very close.
Oh, Pepsi's dropped it! Pepsi's dropped it!
Oh no! Wow.
He's got the spins, and we've seen this a lot from him in a comfortable position, and he drops it.
Oh, he might get swallowed by this quartz. Oh, he might.
Oh, he's got to be aware of his tyre temps as well, Mick.
Yeah, Nemo all over the back of this Ferrari now. And there goes all the pressure that Anocat had, so he just has to keep his eyes forward and focus on that Alfa Romeo in front of him.
And it might have just given life to the Aston Martin as well in this championship fight.
Yeah, and also in that Constructors, Aston Martin do overtake Ferrari as things stand right now, as both Aston Martins ahead of their respective rivals. Mika doing a great job being ahead of Bully, but those two are part of this quintet now, as Pepsi has decided to join them.
Pepsi has decided to join them. He could pull them along.
Oh, Mika's gone wide. Mika's gone wide in the last corner. Bully might have a bit of an option here. Mika does not have DRS, was outside of it at the detection point. He's low on battery as well. Bully to the inside, as Nemo goes for the inside move on Pepsi as well. Even easy as you like. Bully has now made a spot. He's messed up the S slightly. Does Mika have an answer, Seb?
Oh, I think he does. No DRS for Bully. He'll steam right by, even with no ERS battery at his disposal.
Pepsi also, both Ferraris having a response to being overtaken into turn 1. Both get their respective rivals re-overtaken at turn 4. It's Nemo doing a great job battling with our championship leader.
And he's staying with him, Mick. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. This is a detriment to Pepsi if they keep fighting, because he will just keep losing time. And that's not what he needs, especially if we don't get a safety car, which I highly doubt. But it could still happen. Anything that can happen will happen. Murphy's Law.
Yep. Especially when it comes to AFR League Racing, Seb. Especially when it comes to that. Anocat up the inside of turn 1 on Zay. He's finally made the move. He's charged up that battery enough. And now it's hammer time for the Aston Martin.
I want to point out, as Callios gets a 5-second time penalty. I think he had a mistake at turn 8. But Alfa Romeo 2-3 right now.
Yes. Absolutely. They're doing very, very nice indeed. I'm sure those boys will be very happy with the 2 reserves filling in. I believe both of them are reserves.
I believe that as well.
Yeah, so wanting to impress. Hopefully get a full-time drive next season, season 8. Man, these numbers, they keep going higher and higher, so it's not making me feel old. Only feels like yesterday we were battling it out for season 4. Feels like yesterday. Good old days.
I can remember season 1 of this.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
probably the most fun I've ever had league racing.
Shout out
Compared to this
Pepsi.
season, to be honest with you, because I had a lot of fun rap battles with the guys in Tier 3. I've just relaxed. No competitiveness, just relax and have fun.
Well, someone who's definitely not going to be feeling relaxed is Psycho. He's under so much pressure from his half behind, but doing a great job to stay in front and still stay within DRS range of Rat to make things extremely difficult for Davis right behind him.
I really don't like how wide Davis gets onto that curb in turn 2. I feel like if he just gets too much throttle and just a slightest bit more wider, he will spin the car around.
We've seen that before. I dare say
very
that's
much
how
before.
Pepsi found his way around. The grid still continuing to spread out. Bit of a battle going on at the rear of the field. Looks like actually Shane might be struggling a little bit. Combat getting past him at turn 12. It does have that DRS range at the moment. And it's broken DRS to Zay. Wow.
I think Zay's had a mistake because that was 6/10 and then just blew out as you mentioned it.
Oh, he's really trying.
And
He's gone for the
pit
undercut.
window. And he can do this. I think his tires will be around 68, 70% come the end of the race, pitting from this point.
There we go.
20 laps will do about
Pepsi's
60%.
followed him
So
in.
I think it's the right call for these guys, especially Pepsi. He needs to get that undercut. He needs to get some track position back on the drivers up ahead.
Mika as well going into the pits. Kalios, the Haas as well. Unfortunately now a lap down after his errors. Bandcamp side by side with Nemo going towards turn 4. The Alpine a bit later on the brakes, but unfortunately for Nemo, the Dragon comes out on top once again.
And Zay's coming out right behind traffic, Mick. He's right behind Saxa.
Oh, this
Saxa can
this
play a
is
big role in Endocat. Yeah, really big.
Oh, he's gone
gonna
off
go for the move.
track. Oh, a bit gone off track, try and get alongside. I don't know about that one.
That was either off track or he's picked that perfectly to the millimeter, Mick.
Oh, that's really close.
That is so tight.
So close.
He didn't get an illegal for it. I'm gonna have to assume he did pick that perfectly to the millimeter.
And a cat, unsurprisingly, in to respond. Who else responds? It's Psycho and Rat into the pits. Well, Davis stays out and he will take the lead of this race. Bandcamp comes in. Nemo stays out. Bully comes into the pits as well. Where is Zay? Zay is coming through the last official corner, turn 15.
It's gonna be.
This is going to be close. Ando,
Oh, they're gonna be neck and neck.
Ando's had a really nice outlap. He's ahead of the Alpha Romeo at the moment. Zay coming through the Curve de la Sol, and he's done it. The undercut has worked, and Saxa will stay behind Andocat. So crucially, Ando has no traffic.
And crucially, he's out of DRS. He needs to use that 50% DRS he's got. This could be race critical.
Meanwhile, Pepsi got jumped in the pit lane.
Has he? I think he's still got 4 cars ahead of him. I think he'll jump to P5. P6, sorry.
I don't remember. Oh yeah, true. Yeah. He's right on the back of Psycho, who's also encountered a little bit of traffic with Defiant on those old soft compound tires. I dare say this will be a pretty simple move. Not just for the AlphaTauri, but for the Ferrari as well, as Defiant should be coming into the pits relatively soon, just like Davis and Nemo have. Guess Saxa will be coming in shortly as well. Now, there we go. So all of the soft runners have now made their pit stop. 21 laps on the mediums, though. That's a long way. They can make it, just like you've said, Seb, but they won't be feeling great at the end of the race. And Davis, very close. He's going to be battling on exit here.
Indeed he is. Right there. Right there. And he's just come out in front of his teammate, but just behind Pepsi. He could apply pressure to the championship leader here.
Mako and Nemo as well, very close. The undercut working again. This time for the Aston Martin. Quick penalty update as well for you, those of you who are keeping score. Davis with 3 seconds, Nemo with 3 seconds, Kalios with 3 seconds as well. Shane Mumford with 6, and Skins with his 10-second penalty for what was going off track into the grass, cutting the grass at turn 5 on the first lap.
Quite unfair penalty that should get easily removed, barring a incident report from Skins himself.
Well, here we go. Pepsi to the left-hand side. Pretty simple overtake. 4th place now for the Ferrari. 1.6 seconds away from the nearest car.
Psycho might have a crack at this. No, he won't. He pulled out of the ERS deployment.
I think Psycho's goal right now is just to try and stay with the Ferrari as long as he can. Make sure that Davis does not have an opportunity to overtake on track, because that could have big consequences come at the end of the race.
Very much so. Cat within half a second of Zay here, lining up a move.
Indeed he is, and he has a lot of battery to spare as well. This could be pretty simple, but is he going to hold it into turn 4? That is the big question, Seb.
Well, he needs to set him up for a switchback out of 2 into 3 and on the run to 4. I think that's the plan.
Oh, he's
kind
lifting,
of
he knows.
Here.
He knows.
You'd almost... Oh, I'm not sure about that,
turn 1
man.
though.
Yeah, like, you'd almost want to get a nose down the inside of turn 1, compromise Zay's line into turn 2, then you can do the switchback.
Yeah, just straight line turn 2 as much as you can while keeping it in track limits and get the best exit possible. But Zay, not buckling under the pressure right now. Very nice driving from the Alfa Romeo so far.
Keeping it together. Is this his first race, Mick? I believe it is.
It's his first race this season for AFR. I think he reserved once before, but I could be wrong. He definitely is one of the newer guys here at Aussie Formula Racing, and he's doing pretty well out there.
Very much. Cat now has nearly 20% more battery than he had last time around, so he should be able to get this move done. Juice a bit out of here, decides not to.
Well, it's not about if he can do the move, because he can do the move very easily. Does he want to do the move? So right now it doesn't look like it.
I'd prefer to be leading for the next 15 or so laps than not leading.
Again, he's missed the apex at turn 1. Just locking that inside front.
He's not putting pressure on Zay. I think Zay's putting more pressure on Ando than anything at the moment, so...
We'll jump back to the other Aston Martin. Sorry to just cut you off there. Nemo getting past Mika into turn 1. Does this Aston Martin want to make a move, Seb? Nemo is using a lot of ERS to try and stay in front. Mika had a little look, but again.
Yeah, looks like he wants to save ERS, Mick.
Now that makes a little bit more sense.
Yes, that does. But, like I was saying, Cat needs to go for knockout blows in this championship bout when you're trailing by 52 points. He's got to get that P1 spot, and he needs to lock it down. Truly lock it down. So we should see a move this lap, but with our last 2 laps have gone, he hasn't. He's gone for it now.
He's going for it this time. He might have heard you, Seb.
Oh, I'm not sure he has. He's backed out the ERS now.
Oh, he doesn't need it. To the inside. Pretty simple move.
Oh, he's gonna get a counter here from Zay though. If Zay can get pulled together a good turn 2. Might very well happen.
Jose using the resources. He's got the straight line, but has he got enough? They're closing on braking to an Ando. Beautiful defense. Holds the lead. But at what cost, Seb?
At what cost? Well, he should try and hold on to this little yellow flags up ahead. They need to be careful.
Oh, it's a wild Shane Mumford on the field.
He'll get out the way. Good on Shane Mumford for that. But he needs to lead for about the next 11 laps. Get Zay to drain his ERS. While Cat doesn't use that much. Then maybe let him buy at some point and then go for the move in the final 2 laps. That would be the strategy here with how strong DRS is. or he could just try and pull away. But he hasn't quite done that. So he's still within DRS, and that DRS will be pulling along to around 2/10 come turn 4.
Yeah, aside from these front two, the gaps seem pretty large at the moment. Actually, hold on. I think that might be Callius just getting out of the way, trying to unlap himself on Bandcamp. But yeah, everyone just taking it nice and easy for the time being. Next closest gap is Mika and Nemo. Those two doing battle still. Purple first sector for Zay. These two are definitely trying to pull away from the rest of the field behind them.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to pull each other along for a little while longer. That's what they need to do, and what Anakin needs to do is try and build a gap. I don't think he's used enough of that ERS to warrant such a gap that gets Zay out of his DRS range.
Meanwhile, right behind them, Apollo Pepsi getting very close to Rat's DRS. 1.1 seconds, he's broken it to Psycho. Unless Psycho has a good exit. No, he does not. So he has broken DRS to Psycho. Davis as well, starting to fall back off the AlphaTauri as well. So that fight is slowly disintegrating. But our two leaders are still going tooth and nail, as is the other Aston Martin of Mika. He's about to make a move on Nemo, trying to look up the inside, thinks better of it. We're trying to get the move done into turn 4, Seb, on the Alpine.
Yeah, just like Anakin and Zay, these guys will go at it all race long for the next 14.5 laps, you'd think. A bit of swerving down the track. Nemo, no ERS. Mika, about 20% more, 30% more. He'll be just saving up and waiting for a move down the line. Considering Bandcamp is 3 seconds down the road, no need to do anything risky at this point.
Meanwhile, Defiant making a nice move on Saxer up the inside of turn 4. DRS assisted, of course, because how else are you going to overtake in these cars?
Ooh. Sorry, Mick, I've just seen Pepsi struggle through turn 11 and 12, and he's gone deep through 12. Might open up the door for Psycho for a move.
Psycho's back within DRS range, which is a good sign. And he might as well need it, because Davis is on a charge. Look at the Haas! The straight line speed. Oh, they're closing so quickly on this Ferrari.
Oh, smart from Davis to back out there. He could have made that 3 wide, but decided better of it.
Psycho's gone deep at turn 1. Pepsi with the switchback. Psycho might not only just lose out to the Ferrari, but also to Davis as well. But I think the gap is just too large. Psycho can't really defend that as much as he's probably want to. Pepsi regains that 4th place, but he's lost a lot of time to those in front of him.
It's breathing room for Rat, but we could still see Pepsi gain all that time in the next 13.5 laps and get a move done.
Just have to wait and see. The lap counter is certainly ticking away. Lap 23 of 36 as it stands right now, ladies and gentlemen. Combat Rat into the pit lane to put on a fresh set of tyres, getting off his 16-lap old mediums. And only a single virtual safety car so far, Seb, so I'm quite impressed with the limited amount of major mistakes that we've had.
Touchwood, we don't get a major safety car, but Davis is getting a move on Psycho here.
There we go, both with DRS, ERS and full utilization for the Haas up the inside of turn 1. Psycho leaves in the room, but the switchback through turn 2, it's going to be quite powerful. But is it powerful enough? Davis washing out slightly wide through the curve to the Sol. Outside for turn 4, tries the Haas, a little bit on the grass as well. Psycho aggressively defending that, but all is fair, all is clean, and Psycho has defended that position, but he's lost a lot of time to Pepsi in front, fighting with the Haas. Have to keep thinking about these things, Seb.
You do, and I'd almost think that Psycho would have been better for him just to let Davis by. That way he could maybe get more of an opportunity to help get Pepsi to pull him along and Davis along towards that P3 position. But Pepsi is struggling right now. He's not having a good time of it. Yeah, it's funny it's difficult when that front right is really heating up through turn 11 and 12. So he's got to find a little solution to that. You know, find it throughout the lap. Zay and Undercut still going at it though. Yet to exchange positions in the past 4 or so laps.
Round 2, Davis, inside of turn 1, keeps the overtake on through the center as that is daring stuff. But it's oh my goodness, look at the run. That's illegal. That shouldn't be allowed. That was disgusting.
You know what that was? That was pure class and power.
Oh.
He had confidence and maybe too much confidence, Mick. Flirting with danger is the last driver, but he's living on the edge and it's paying off.
He's made the move. Keeper as well, trying to do the same thing on Nut. Inside of turn 1 for the Mercedes, down in 13th now. Nice.
I think that move will be all be for nothing because Keeper is on probably 12 lap old softs and he will have to pit again.
Yep, of course Nut can go to the end of the race if he so chooses. Barring any safety cars. Of course, Combat Rat on those fresh softs, 109.2, sets the fastest lap of the race so far. And I dare say our 2 leaders might have just seen that and say, you know what, maybe we need to step up the pace a bit. What do you say?
Well, I'm not sure at the moment. They got a 5-second gap behind. I don't think they would or should be taking any risk considering they've got each other to worry about, Nick.
We're also quickly approaching some lap traffic. Because combat on those fresh softs shouldn't be an issue. Oh, Mr. Spice is still a fair bit up the road. They'll be fine. They will be fine. Zay just chilling right behind. How's the ERS going? Zay about a 20% advantage on the battery, so.
And they're both using a bit up. Neither of them going really aggressive at any moves. I don't think Zay's had an opening. It's evident by how much Ando is able to pull through that middle sector, but Zay just gets it all back. So a bit of DRS help.
Well, up the hill they go. Through the long left. Which some usually call the main straight.
Oh, he's closing. So much overspeed with that DRS and about 10 to 15% deployment of ERS. Good to see him move now, Mick.
Oh, he's got the speed. He definitely has the speed to the outside. He's like go wheel to wheel. No, Undercut slots in right behind him.
It's good timing. He can just sit behind for the next 7 or so laps, gain back his ERS. I think he is faster than him, Mick. And go for a late race move. But still all to be seen what these drivers decide to do.
Combat Rat as well, getting very close to his teammate. Now I dare say, Seb, that will be a pretty simple move for Mr. Combat Rat.
It would be. Yeah, right there. I don't think Skins will put up too much of a fight to his brother. But they do have Mr. Spicer to negotiate, and Mr. Spicer gets out of the way.
Nice and easy. But Zay is definitely not getting out of the way. Undercut. No ERS, but DRS might be enough. He pokes his nose in through turn 1, gets the move done. Does Zay have the switchback? 3 turns, maybe.
No, he has DRS though. Could go for another one, but I don't think he's using any ERS, so might just back out of this move, and he has Mick. Undercut retakes P1, so very eager from the SM1 and just wants to control this race from the front.
It's getting into the closing stages of this race. Yellow flags. That is Mr. Spice. No, it's not. That is Combat Rat. Combat Rat pushing too hard on those softs.
VSC, we might get an upgraded safety car. Don't think we will, though. Pray we don't.
Oh, I certainly hope we don't. Virtual safety car, though, will help some of these drivers save a bit of fuel. Combat Rat being one of them. But Combat can't seem to get the car moving. There we go. Comes back on to the track now.
Sorry, I think it's just being very cautious not to take anyone out. But someone who has benefited from this is Rat, is Kalios. Oh my goodness.
Yep,
can't catch a break.
Another drive-through. And Zay outside for turn number 1. He's got the move done. He's pulled the car up as well. And it's our Undercut with the counter-attack. Just under 2 tenths. Zay staying in front.
Oh,
That's the other Williams, I think.
I think
No?
it is as well. Gin's having a bit of issues at turn 12
No,
through
it's combat
13.
again.
No, it is combat, you were right.
Oh well.
But, as I was saying, Mick, someone who has benefited is Rat.
He has.
He has. It helped him kind of quell Pepsi's charge back through the field. That's a Haas of Kalios, I believe, having some issues right now.
Yeah, so dare to forget. For
Don't
Kalios.
forget. Had such a good start, and I think he might have got some floor
Oh,
damage
there's
or
a
something.
Ferrari. That's a bully. He's now
Oh, is
lost
that
it.
a?
Oh, that's
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
Yep. Well, might have to go see the stewarding office after that. Either that. Oh, and he's gone around again.
That's
Oh,
hot tires for
he
you.
slams into the barrier.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. He doesn't bring out a safety car here because he could get penalised for that. Kalios, oh my, that's just got to be painful. And it's not even deserved. He's getting out of the way of Nut and Bully right now, who are fighting for P12.
Yep. Dave to forget for both Bully and Kalios, unfortunately. Yellow flags out again. Oh, that's Rat! Rat's had an issue. He's hit the wall at the apex at turn 5. He's got 0 front wing on that car, Seb. So it was looking like a fantastic result for Alfa Romeo. It's completely gone down the drain.
Help Pepsi, and that's a lapse in concentration. He had, I think he had Pepsi, really and truly, Mick. I think he just got ahead of himself and got too greedy. Just started thinking too far ahead. Oh, Kalios, that is, it just gets worse and worse every time you see it.
Might be trying to break Lotus's record for the most amount of penalties without a disqualification in the race.
Tell you what, right now Zay just got a bit of help from Shane Mumford. A little bit of DRS assistance down that straight. Don't think you'd mind that, the Alfa Romeo.
Lap 31 of 36. I certainly hope that these drivers have put enough fuel in the car. Because Interlagos is a gas guzzler, Seb.
Yeah, gas guzzler. They need probably 2.2 litres. Depends on your setup, depends on wings. Depends how much drag you have on the car. 2.2 litres with the high downforce setups these guys have. You gotta put a lot of fuel in.
We're talking about extra, not just 2 litres in total. That would be absurd.
Yeah.
The fuel
Sorry,
efficiency.
2.2 laps. Oh my goodness.
2.2
Sorry.
laps extra.
2.2 laps extra of fuel.
I mean, can you imagine the sheer fuel efficiency if these cars can go a 36 lap race with 2 litres of fuel?
On 2 litres, that would be crazy.
That'd be game changing, like in the industry.
Yeah, absolutely game changing. Game changing for the world.
Oh, Aramco probably wouldn't be too happy about that. But anyways, combat, new fastest lap, pinning once again as a bully gets past Nut for 12th place. The McLaren not making that move too difficult. Tyre data here, Rat on a fresh set of softs as well. It's all about his teammate for this occasion. It's Zay, still ahead of Andocat going into lap 32 of 36. 5 laps to go, including the current lap, Seb.
Ando and Zay almost equal on ERS, and they'll both hit around 95% when they come out of turn 12. So not a lot separating these two. It's going to come down to that last lap, Mick. And I think you'd want to be leading into it. Get overtaken into turn 1, then re-overtake into turn 4. That should be the plan.
And just make sure you nail the exit out of the turn 12. We'll see what unfolds. Leave your predictions in the chat. Who has got this race win? Is it Zay? Is it Andocat? Or is it someone completely different if these two, unfortunately, were to come together? But here we go. Jumping on board with the Aston Martin. Doesn't need to use a lot of that ERS. DRS and slipstream is going to be more than enough. Again, sticking his nose in the rub wheels. But he's compromised Zay's line through turn 1, just like you were talking about a few laps ago. But he's washed out wide through the curve to the salt.
It's like he got scared. He's not using ERS. He's just going to use all that raw power in the DRS and the slipstream to get down the inside, Mick. He might have done this move, and he has. He retakes the lead with 3.5 laps remaining. And both these drivers only have 1 warning each, Mick. So they're clean on penalties so far.
Well, that's what we like to see as well. We don't want to see this race decided on penalties. I don't think either driver wants that at the moment. We're at 108.7. Fastest lap of the race on those fresh softs. I don't think that's being beaten.
Yeah, neither. Unless someone
Maybe by
pits.
Kalios on his fresh softs.
Yeah, unless someone pits lap 34, comes out lap 35, and then nails at lap 36. I don't think it's being beat either, Nick.
Ando showing a bit of speed as he makes his way towards turn 1 yet again. He got the gap out to around 7/10 before the DRS zone. And it was enough to keep the Alfa Romeo at bay, but only just, so... It's a chess match between these two, Seb.
It is a chess match, neither in control really. Andocat has a lot of ERS, Say has a lot of ERS, Say has a power of DRS, but Andocat has track position. So it's an equal footing match right now. And they've got 2.5.
Here we go, right up the inside of Saxop. And very simple move for the Alfa Romeo. Of course, on those fresh softs. I mean, what do you expect, Seb? Honestly.
Yeah, and to be honest, he was in P3, so he had the pace for much more. I don't think Saxon would be too disappointed by that.
2 laps to go. The gap between our front two is 3/10. Going through the center S for the 35th time.
Now, Zay does get DRS here, but that may cost him down the line, that little mistake. Close the in tight. I don't know, I think it's actually kind of helped him out a bit there. But it's setting up nicely for a last lap bout, Mick.
All bets are off. There will be no safety cars to interfere with these two. So I hope everyone's got enough fuel saved up. This will be one of the only races that has not had a full safety car. It's only the second time this season, Seb, in Tier 2.
And we're not going to get one either.
Nope. Oh, but look at the gap that Ando's pulled. He's pulled 8/10.
Oh, they both have so much ERS. Zay's going to use it. Zay's going to use up a lot here. He's got to use up to about 45%, and then use it up again on that rundown from turn 3 to turn 4. I don't think he's close enough, Mick. Look at that gap. He is closing in, though. Oh, it's going to come down to turn 4, Mick. Get excited.
Oh, he's taken an earlier apex. He's messed up the S. Oh, make that 7/10 to gap. He's not going to be able to make the move into turn 4. But can he get close enough through this middle sector to maybe have a drag to the line as Skins? 108.0 is now the fastest lap for the Williams.
And that's what I was talking about before, but we still got a couple overtaking opportunities here, Mick. If Andocat makes a mistake, turn 10 could be the one, turn 12 could be a dive, we could get a move at the line.
All bets are off. Zay's lost. I mean, this tyre advantage also might be coming into play. These tyres are not going to be feeling great. 8/10 now is the gap. He's not close enough, Seb.
I think he's done it. Andocat's done it. Crucially done it.
Wow. What a drive. Andocat comes back after missing out the last 2 races with technical issues. Comes back here in Interlagos and takes the race win in commanding fashion. Zay, a very close second, but that last lap just not performing in the clutch. Apollo Pepsi will come across the line and round off the podium with that 3rd place finish. Davis will cross the line in 4th, but on penalties, Psycho will jump in for that 4th place. Bandcamp just missing out though. He will stay in 6th position. Nemo comes across the line in 7th. Mika will follow him closely behind in 8th. With Defiant and Rat rounding out your top 10. What a drive, sir. What a race.
What a drive. Very well measured from Andocat in the dying stages. So he just didn't have the pace, I don't think. But well done to him. Very well done. And Pepsi crucially keeping tabs on Andocat, not letting that average go over 13 points. So Endocat will be trailing by 42 points coming into Australia and needs 14 points per race, but one of them he needs that little bit extra with 15 points gained on Pepsi in order to take that championship. But big day for Aston Martin because, well, they get 29 points. Ferrari only get 15. They'll be leading by 13 points with 3 rounds remaining, Mick.
Absolutely, yeah. So Aston Martin take lead of the Constructors' Championship in Tier 2 with a great performance from Endocat and the Game Awarded Driver of the Day, Mika. After what was a dreadful qualifying, the salvage was at 8th place in the end. That is a stellar, stellar effort from Mika. So the podium celebrations are in order. Endocat is your race winner, followed by Zay in that Alfa Romeo reserve seat, and Apollo Pepsi rounds off the podium. Congratulations to all these drivers, and no full safety cars. Incredible.
It's a first.
Yeah.
The first.
I think it might be. It's only happened, if it ever, one other time. But there's confirmation of your results. Endocat with the full 25 points. Unable to secure the fastest lap in the end, but that we'll get to that in just a little bit. Zay in second, Apollo Pepsi in third, with Psycho in fourth, Davis in fifth, Bandcamp 12th to 6th, nice effort from him. Nemo 13th to 7th to secure Alpine a couple of nice points. Mika from 16th to 8th, very nicely done indeed. And Rat, unfortunately, after his mistake at turn 5, will have to settle for one singular point after starting in 8th and making his way up to a net 3rd place. Saxa from the back of the grid picks up 11th, no points to show for his effort, but still a great drive nonetheless. Keeper in 12th, Nut in 13th, the Mr. Spicer unfortunately falling a lap down, along with Skins, who takes the fastest lap. Combat Rat is Williams' teammate with Bully as well, and unfortunate for Shane Mumford and Kalios, who are both 2 laps down at the end, both having very, very poor races. So, unfortunately, Seth, that's all the time we have for this evening.
Perfect timing.
Yes, I know.
Perfect timing. So I need to leave real quick.
You
Just
need
a quick word.
Yeah.
There are, I believe there's rumors that this track could be replaced, but by another one in Sao Paulo, but a Herman Tilke track design. But I would much prefer to see this one stay. There's quite a good track for racing, and it's quite fun to hot lap as well.
Well, if the 2022 cars allow the drivers to follow as closely as they have been predicted, and it makes overtaking a lot easier and a lot more of a common occurrence, then I definitely want to see this track stay. It has so much history within the sport, and it's such a nice facility as well. And it's just the Brazilian atmosphere is just second to none, honestly. Just the amount of passion there. But that's unfortunately all the time we have for today. Thank you all for enjoying the stream. My name has been Mikhail. Joining me has been Seb. And don't forget to hit that follow button and the notification bell so you get notified every time AFR goes live every Sunday. And do indeed join the Discord if you want to stay up to date in all of AFR's affairs and be the first to hear about it when news drops. Next week, we'll be heading back home to the south of Melbourne for the Australian Grand Prix around the Albert Park Street circuit. Of course, not the new layout that they're using this year in the real-life Formula One Championship, but still a fan favorite here as well. But yet again, another track where overtaking can be difficult. But that is for next week. Tier 3 starting at 5:30 Australian Eastern Daylight Time, followed by Tier 1 at 7, and then Tier 2 presented by yours truly at 8:30 next week. That's all the time we have for today. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday nights and a wonderful week, and always remember to wear your seatbelt.